Hey everyone, this is the Movieman, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And today I'm coming to you all with yet another trailer reaction, this time for a film that is a part of a franchise that has been on the struggle bus as of late. They have had some good moments, it's been a little bit up and down, but I think collectively, a lot of people believe that this franchise has been slowly but surely going down, baby, yo street in a Range Rover, right? So I figured, let me check this out, see what's going on, and to see if the MCU, because of course that's what I'm talking about, might be getting back on track. And of course I'll have more thoughts on that after the fact. But in the meantime, I will be reacting to the newest teaser trailer for Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier and starring David Harbour, Sebastian, Florence Pugh, and the list goes on. And without further ado, let's get into it.
I clicked leave on porch. Your subordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ.
Not DoorDash.
Open up.
Milena? Elena!
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about the wait. It was on important call. Highly classified. Lot of work. Many irons in fire.
You feel fulfilled?
Oh, yeah, so full, so filled. But why do you ask this? What brings you here?
There is something wrong with me. An emptiness. I'm just drifting. And I don't have purpose. I thought throwing myself into work was the answer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh no.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Who sent you, Bob?
Nobody.
You were all sent?
Everyone here has done bad things.
I'm sure they have.
Shadow ops. Robbing government labs. Contract kills.
Yeah, so?
So, someone wants us gone. What the hell?
Okay, that was definitely giving me escape room. That very first escape room in the film.
That there are good guys and there are bad guys.
What's the plan?
Ah, not the dishwasher.
Eventually, you come to realize that there are bad guys and there are worse guys and nothing else. Look at you. So adorable.
She's bulletproof. Bulletproof-ish.
Oh gosh.
Is that Bucky?
That's not good.
Ooh. All right. Listen, I did not know what to expect from this one. Of course, conceptually, I figured it was something I might enjoy. But Let me just kind of give you a very, very brief rundown. I have enjoyed the MCU as much as the next person, as a casual fan. Not a lot of familiarity with the comics and what's changed. But regardless, I still remember Iron Man kicking things off all those years ago. And I will say, even though the general enjoyment of the films and my reception, to those films has been fairly positive, there have been some that I've not been the biggest fan of, if we're going to be really honest. But I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as I watched Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I had been looking forward to, just knowing that eventually Scarlet Witch, I knew her arc at some point was going to get a little bit darker, and I was excited to see that. But when I tell you there are not enough words for how much I could not stand Multiverse of Madness, people go on and on about what a great film it is. Kudos to you. I wish you the best with that. I truly do, but I cannot relate. You cannot pay me enough to rewatch that film or say that it was good, solid, or entertaining. It was an absolute no. And that was the kind of the beginning of the uh-oh. Because Thor, Love and Thunder, absolutely not. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever had flaws, but I understand the circumstances with Chadwick Boseman and everything that happened there. But I still think I could still see some bright points in that film. Yes, it had its issues. Yes, it had its flaws, but consider the circumstances. So I don't really give that film too much. And I still think Ryan Coogler did what he could in spite of everything that happened. And then we had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Oh my gosh, Quantumania made Multiverse of Madness look like a cakewalk. I could not believe what was going on. I was like, are you kidding me? And that was my final realization, okay, we might be circling the drain here. What's going on? And obviously the overabundance of series that they came out with did not help. I will also say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a return to form. I enjoyed Volume 2 as well. A lot of folks say Volume 2 wasn't great. I enjoyed it. But Volume 3 definitely was a much-needed gut punch emotionally and just with the seriousness, along with what we enjoy about Guardians of the Galaxy. But that was okay, cool. Didn't really have a real desire to watch the Marvels outside of Monica's character. And when it came down to it, I was just like, not even she is enough to, make me go and see this. Maybe one of these days I'll watch it. I'm sure it's not nearly as bad as most people are saying, which tends to be the case, I find. But yeah, and then of course Deadpool and Wolverine, which, although I had my issues with that as well, really fun time, a really surprising send-off, poignant send-off to the 20th Century Fox world of Marvel movies. Man, what a time that was. So I say all that to say it's we've been on the struggle bus, right? But I am really intrigued to see if the MCU can get back on track. Maybe it can't, of course, nothing is ever going to beat that initial run. And even in that initial run, there were things in films, character, there were things that were not always the best. But there seemed to be a very clear vision. Lately, there has not been a clear vision. And I think the lack of moderation in the releases, you can't throw 5 or 6 series and then 3 films and expect people to just kind of oh yeah. The key is moderation. It really is. You have to allow people to just get a breather and miss you and then jump back in that way. When it comes down to Thunderbolts, I am just really interested to see how these characters are going to work. And I also have to say, I am somewhat excited to see the MCU get back into the more grounded, gritty tone that they had with films like Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War. I love that. I understand we have Thor, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, we have Doctor Strange. We have these more fantastical, supernatural elements as well. But I do think whenever the MCU gets closer to that realistic, gritty government, the world, the state of the nation types, I think that really is a good lane. And I think, of course, as evidenced with The Winter Soldier and Civil War, I just think that's something that really works for these characters. So it feels like we're getting back to that between this film and Captain America: Brave New World. It's like, okay, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. If they're not great, ain't no skin off my back, right? But I am hopeful in the meantime. All I have is hope, and hope is all that I have. Literally. You already know. Thunderbolts will be released in theaters May 2025. You guys feel free to drop down and leave me your thoughts. How does this look? How has your own experience been with the MCU? Where was the fall off point for you? And do you think that there's potential for them to not get back? Like, that's the thing. I just feel like, do you think there's a way for the MCU to get back on track and just make a new path going forward? It doesn't have to look like what we thought it might be. It's not going to be what it was. But do you think there's potential for the MCU to regain its footing and genuinely carve a new path, especially with this whole doomsday, situation we have going on, and Doctor Doom and all of that? So, as always, please leave your thoughts down below and let me know what you think. So, once again, this is D, Movie Man, signing off, and I'll see you at the movies.